Hey y'all, I'm Kara.
And I'm Danielle.
Welcome to the 30-ish podcast.
Welcome back.
Happy February.
I'm Danielle, homeschool mom of 2, almost 3.
And I'm Kara, mom of 2 and English teacher.
All right. So, I've been catching up on my TV recaps, basically.
Danielle's trying to get all the TV in before baby.
I know, I really should have just waited. But I think like a lot of stuff came onto Netflix recently.
Okay, so I got kicked off of my parents' Netflix account finally. They realized that we're not in the same locations. I don't have Netflix right now, so you have to tell me all the things.
That actually just happened to us too. I think Netflix is cracking down. But shout out, Mom. Thanks for extending your household.
Oh, they can do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can either, because it's cheaper to like add someone on as like a second household, I guess, versus like 2 separate Netflix accounts. Yeah. But yeah, my mom blessed me and she is allowing me to stay on the Netflix account for now, so we'll see.
Thanks, Pam.
Yes. So what I've been doing is watching Netflix.
So what have you been watching?
So, okay, I watched, I don't want to say the name wrong. It's All the Light We Cannot See. Have you heard of it?
Is that a book?
Yes, it is a book.
Yes. Yeah, no, I did not know it was a show, but I have heard of the book.
Yeah, it's not like super new, like I don't think it was like this week or anything, but it's relatively within the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Came out and it's so good. It's like a limited series, and so I think it was only like 4 or 5 episodes, but it's about the like World War II era and when like basically they are in a little town in France, which I just think is interesting because I don't know if I've ever really seen like a Nazi story from a French perspective, I guess. So it's interesting about that, and the main girl is blind, so that adds like another element to the situation. But it's all about like the radio, and they basically like the 2 main characters like find each other through the radio, which I'm not spoiling anything that's like in the trailer, but it's just like interesting, you know. And I really liked it. It was really well done.
I'm pretty sure that was like a Reese's book club pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know that I've seen the cover before.
Okay, because I thought it was amazing. Like, definitely recommend it. It's a short little thing, so it's not like super time consuming or anything. But we like historical fiction shows. I don't always love them as a book. Sometimes I get a little bored, but I do like them as a show. Like, it's very interesting, and it was really well done.
Well, I definitely need to watch it because I'm about to start teaching Night, the book by Elie Wiesel. It's a Holocaust book.
I thought you were going in at night. I'm like, why?
Oh, no.
Night school.
No. You could not pay me enough. No. The book, it's like 120 pages. It's really short by Elie Wiesel, and I do it every year, but it's about the Holocaust. But it's from his perspective, not the French perspective. So that would definitely be interesting to maybe even show an episode to the kids if it's appropriate.
Yeah, it's really good. I would definitely think that there would be clips at least that you could find that the kids would like.
That's cool.
But yeah, if anyone's looking for that, it's definitely good. And then Tyler last night was reading me all the shows that got renewed because remember we were talking about the writer's strike and the SAG-AFTRA whatever. I guess now a lot of things are getting like their decisions made about them, and the Night Agent, if you haven't watched that, got renewed. I think Unstable got renewed. I know these are all shows that were like waiting in limbo, I think. So if you were waiting to know, like, you heard it here first.
All right.
They got renewed, and I wasn't listening too closely what Tyler was telling me because I was reading, but The Night Agent is very good and it's coming back.
That's one that I wanted to watch. I know that I've like seen it on Netflix and thought, on the homepage and thought, I want to watch that, but I don't think I ever have. My husband probably has.
Well, if you were thinking about it, now's the time because it is coming back. I
just need Pam to add me to her.
If you come over here and you're on our IP address.
Yeah, when I hold Emery for you when you sleep, I'll just watch The Night Agent.
There you go. Exactly. And then I think the other one that he said, it was like the, what is it called? Everyone's probably yelling at me in their cars. It starts with a C. Kara's looking it up for me. It's a really good one.
African Queens.
No.
Barbecue Showdown. Black Mirror. Oh, I've heard that. That's good.
No, it's like a...
Bridgerton.
No, that I already knew. Wait, what's this?
Cobra Kai.
No. It's about like a... So what is it called when you like go overseas as like an agent? Like a FBI agent or like undercover?
A mission?
No. Oh, Fubar season 2 got renewed. So that's a good one.
Ginny and Georgia. Love is Blind season 6 and 7. I remember watching the first season of that.
I tried to convince my sister to go on Love is Blind because I think they're coming to Nashville. She said absolutely not.
Ashley?
Yeah.
She should.
I know. I think it'll be great, but she said absolutely not. She's like, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Why? What is there to lose? Oh, I got to talk to Ashley about this now. Missing Dead or Alive. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Outer Banks. My grandma loves some Outer Banks.
Oh.
Selling Sunset. Strange Things. Sweet Magnolias. Oh, I love Sweet Magnolias.
Oh, The Diplomat.
Oh.
That was not a C word, it was a D word, but The Diplomat. That's when you go overseas and you're...
Yes.
Yes,
Now
so that one.
More Virgin River. Awesome.
Yeah, so in case you were wondering what shows are coming back, it's just exciting, you know, because it's like you start a season 1 and you're like, dang, I'm so excited about this, and it like ends on a cliffhanger and you're like, it's never coming back.
I know, you have to wait forever, and then I end up having to rewatch it because I'm like, what happened? Speaking of, I'm trailing a little bit. Did you ever read, so you know the Colleen Hoover book, It Ends With Us?
Yes, I did not read it. I'm not a Colleen Hoover girl.
Oh, so you didn't, never mind. I was going to say there was like a prequel that came out after the fact.
Oh yeah, you read it, right?
It Starts With Us. Well, no, I didn't. I think I started reading it, and I was...
the flowers on the cover? Is that the series?
It's like a tan, yeah.
Okay.
It has purple flowers on the original one and then like something blue on the new one.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I remember liking It Ends With Us. It was one of the first Colleen Hoover books I read, which I'm not like saying Colleen Hoover's the end all be all or anything, but I didn't read for like fun for a long time. I've always liked reading.
Same.
But then I had COVID my first year teaching and had checked out a Colleen Hoover book from the school library and like have not stopped reading since. So it's been like 3 years straight of always reading something since then. So anyway, that was one of the first books, but
she got you back into the joy of reading.
She did. So thanks, Coho. But I need to reread it. That's what I was thinking, because before I read the prequel, because I started reading it and I was like, I don't even know what's going on, because it's just from the male perspective.
Oh, okay.
Like it's the same story, but from his perspective. And I'm like,
that's interesting.
I don't remember
her perspective
well enough to be like, oh, that's funny. He thinks this.
That's interesting, though. I like that take on it, because I think they did that with Twilight.
Yes.
With, like, from Edward's perspective or something.
Those were the real, like, OG favorite books.
Yes, I think I read all of those.
I did, for sure. I went and saw every movie. I camped out.
Oh, yeah. I definitely read the main books and, like, saw all the movies. But I think I read the Edward one, too.
Were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
You know, that's a good question. I feel like I was... Team Edward.
No.
I know, but like it doesn't age well. Like now you like look back and you're like, oh no, like Jacob was better.
Jacob was better and Jacob was hotter.
Well, definitely hotter because he looks so scary. Like now, like when you're like out of like the mist and the sparkle of it all.
Well, they both did.
Yeah.
Like,
but I love Taylor Lautner. Like, I think he's just awesome.
And then his wife's name is also Taylor
Lautner.
Lautner.
I love that. And they just seem like they are just, like, the best.
They're funny.
And they have a podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's about mental health. It's really good.
Okay, well, I need to listen to that.
It's called The Squeeze, if you're looking for anything related to them. But it's like lemons, like turning lemons into lemonade. Oh. It's really cute, like the premise. But
and they do it together.
Yes, they do it together, and they've had like some really great people on, and it's all about mental health, and I think it's really important and really like they do a great job of it. It's not like hokey, you know, like it's very good.
The That's cool. I've been trying to listen to more podcasts
Yeah.
as we go on. So yeah.
Good.
Let's check it out.
So something else I watched was called Dumb Money. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. It's about, do you remember, like, I want to say it was, like, what year are we in now? Like, 2024. I want to say it was, like, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, during COVID, but, like, a little, like, you know, it wasn't, like, right. But it was GameStop. Do you remember when GameStop had, like, the whole, it's called a short squeeze. I learned from the movie, if you want to know terminology. But basically, it's like the big companies can, like, inflate prices on stuff because they kind of control the stock market. But this was, like, a singular guy who was just, like, reading about the company, and he, like, really believed that, like, it was going to shoot up. And it just tells the whole story. And, like, how him and a bunch of people made a shit ton of money. And then, like, the, you know, big guys lost a shit ton of money. Like, billions of dollars.
I vaguely remember something about this, yes.
And it's, like, crazy because the big guys who lose, like, I want to say it was, like, $6 billion. Like, I'm not exaggerating. They just get bailed out. It's
yeah, for sure.
So frustrating. And then it's like the little guy, he made, like, a really good amount of money. I can't remember how much it was, but it was, like, a good amount of money, like, life-changing. And, you know, he wasn't going to get bailed out if something happened to him. But it was really interesting. And it was a little confusing, I'm not going to lie. I had to pause the movie at one point and be like, Tyler, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like, you got to explain, like, a little bit of the stock market to me. But I'm like, now I want to invest money in the stock market. And he's like, well, like, that's not going to happen to us, most likely.
Well, yeah, and you've got to find, like, a good time to do it and be okay with it being in the negative sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is, like, you just kind of have to know going into it that, like, it's not a short game, it's a long game.
For sure.
Situation. And, yeah, but it is really interesting. And, like, if you know what you're doing and you've done, like, some research on it, like, you really can make some money off of it.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm going to be looking into that.
I feel like this might be a thing. Like, you know how there's, like, the spender in the relationship and the saver in the relationship? Or there's, like, someone that's, like, a risk taker and someone who's more reserved?
Which one are you? Which one am I?
Yeah, so...
Let's take a guess.
I'm definitely the spender, and I don't know if I'm a risk... Well, okay, I think I'm more reserved in this situation, and Ryan is definitely the saver, and he's more of a risk taker in this situation. So, if you don't know my husband, he is like a penny pincher. In a good way, though. Like, he can save money like I have never seen people save money. Like, he can just decide one day, okay, I'm not going to spend any money, and, like, literally won't, other than his necessities. So, anyway, but it was a few years back, and he was like, we're going to start investing. And it just scared me. Like, I was like, I'd rather just have the money in the bank and know that it's sitting in the bank and it's not going anywhere, rather than I'm going to give whoever this money, or I'm going to invest in this, and it may go up or it may go down. Like, I don't like the idea that it may go down.
Yeah.
So, but apparently it's a smart thing to do investments. And I say that, but I have a 401k, and there for a while through my job, and there for a while, when I would get my statements, it was like declining. Like, it was negative. It was going down.
Because a 401k, from my understanding, has to do with, like, the company that you work for as a whole, not necessarily you, and like how they're doing. Right?
Well, like, ours is through Vanguard Target. So, like, the state, because, like, technically I work for the state, or the county, but whatever, it's all through the state. They invest money in Vanguard Target. And so how Vanguard Target does depends on whether it goes up or down. But it has to do with the stock market too, and, like, inflation. So it was going down for a long time. Well, I checked my 401k recently, and it had gone, like, so much up. I'm like, please just don't let this amount go down.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't really understand how it works. But also I learned, don't take money out of your 401k early. Because you don't get it.
I don't have one.
It's not like you have $7,000 and you want to take $7,000 out and you're going to get $7,000. You're going to get, like, $2,000.
Well, you get, like, taxed. on
Yeah,
it,
but
right?
you also get penalized if you take it out early.
Yeah.
So I did not know that.
I didn't either. But like I said, I don't have one.
But yeah, I don't know. Being an adult is hard.
It is. And that's the stuff they don't teach you in school.
No. I took a personal finance class and I should have recorded, I say this often, I should have recorded every word he said because I knew even then, like he was so smart and was telling us how to be a millionaire and we just were writing notes to each other and playing on Instagram.
Was it in high school or was it in college?
No, it was in high school. I wish I would have taken a class like that in college. Maybe I should just go take a personal finance class. But he was telling us like get CDs. Have you heard of those?
Yeah.
CDs and like this certain type of like Roth IRA and some other type of account for your kids.
In case you didn't know, this is a finance podcast now.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're gonna have to change the name. 30-ish million.
It still falls under things you need to know in your 30s.
That's true. That's true.
How to survive inflation.
So I'll learn some more and come back to
Yeah, I was gonna say, you need to report back to us. Let us know what we need to do so that we can all retire as millionaires.
and thrive.
Or billionaires.
We'll
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All teachers do.
All teachers?
Yeah.
So I did want to ask you so I know you had started your journey on Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yes.
When the whole scandal had happened.
Yes.
Are you up to date? Like, where do you stand in the universe of Vanderpump Rules?
No, there are so many seasons.
I think the new one is 11.
Yeah, no, I started watching it from the very beginning, and I did love it, but I had to pay for Peacock.
Oh, it's not on just regular?
I don't think so. So then I finally let the Peacock go.
Yeah.
But I watched several seasons. Like, I want to say I watched probably 4 seasons.
So your toes are in. Like, you are...
Oh, I was very invested.
You're very invested.
But it doesn't matter how toxic Jax is, I still love Jax.
You love Jax?
I
You're
love
a Jax
Jax.
stan? I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I don't know, something about him. You just want to root for him. He's got all these issues.
Do you?
Well, I haven't watched it all, but from where I was at, he was like going therapy, and he was totally lying to his therapist. But
yeah,
he's I don't know. I felt bad for him, maybe.
Yeah.
Would I date him? No. Would
Well,
I let my daughter date him? Absolutely not. But
is he a good TV character? Yes.
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. I'll agree with you on that.
And in the beginning, it's hard to love Stassi.
Yeah.
Like, I follow her on Instagram now, and I'm like, oh, she's funny, and she seems like she's got her life together now. But
yeah. Well, it's funny, like, now that you are, like, coming into the universe so, like, much later. Because I guess, yeah, like, that's, if it's 11 seasons, that's at least 11 years. So that's, like, over a decade. And, there used to be, like, sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff that would be, like, season 1 Stassi energy. Because during her first season, like, she's
a lot
crazy, like, and the statement necklaces and the daggers and, like, just, like, she's unhinged.
My husband would
But I think she would agree.
My husband would hear me watching it, and he's like, oh my gosh, this girl is evil. Like, she is scary.
But I think she was leaning into it, for sure. But I think she, like, watches it back, like, dang, like, I was a lot.
And I don't know anybody who takes their birthday as seriously as she does.
Maybe me.
I don't know.
If I had more money.
Yeah, I mean, she was taking everybody on a trip. The whole restaurant was having to shut down because they didn't have anybody to work there.
Well, yeah, that was, like, the dynamics of the show, but, yeah. But, anyways, it's coming back, or, what day is today? Okay, so we're in February now, and it has now come back. So are you going to watch this season?
I am such a bad person where I'm like, if I start a podcast, I need to start from episode 1.
A show?
Or if I... Yeah, or
like
if a book series.
So you can't, like, skip, is what you're saying.
I mean, I can try, but I'm going to be so confused.
Well, there's lots of different characters now.
Right. I mean, like, from where I was at, it was Jax, Stassi, Sheena was kind of newer.
Okay, Sheena's still there.
And then, which I always liked Sheena. She was kind of a pot stirrer, and it was funny because she was a boy's girl, and I'm like, but I don't know. It was just, she was just an entertaining character.
Yeah.
Katie and...
Katie's still there.
What's his name? Tom.
Yes, Tom's still there.
They were breaking up and getting back together. And I think they still do that, yes.
Yeah, they're still breaking up and getting back together.
And then Tom
Sandoval.
And Kristen. Is
So-
she still on there? I was not a Kristen fan.
No.
No.
I don't think Kristen was really a Kristen fan.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Well, and she had.
But she's doing better in her life now.
That's good. That's
Yes. But actually, they're doing a spin-off show now. Because Stassi's not on it, Jax is not on it, Kristen is not on it. In the current VPR. So,
Good. Oh, that's so boring.
well, you have new characters now that you'll come to love. So, but anyway, so they're doing a spin-off show called something like The Valley or something. And Jax is going to be in it. And Kristen is going to be in it. And then there's going to be, like, new people, I think. Stassi's not on any of the shows.
Gotcha.
She said it wouldn't be authentic to her life. Because she's not really friends with them. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
That's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, so I did just start it. I think if you want to get caught up, just watch last season. And then you can be good to go for this season.
The whole reason I wanted to start it and watch it was so I could know what the scandal was about. And
Yeah.
I, like, kind of understand what it's about from knowing him. But I don't understand how he became this hot commodity.
What do you mean? He's not a hot commodity?
Like, the scandal or whatever, isn't it that he was with Ariana but then cheated on her with another girl?
Yeah.
Like, how does he have two girls and want him?
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's a great question because he is not cute,
No.
not cool, and
We're being mean, I'm sorry, but...
No, I mean, we're also really late to this drama, but it's kind of funny.
Well, and Ariana is, like, very pretty.
Yes.
Did
And she's thriving now, so it's...
She did Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
She was, like, brand new on the show when I stopped. She
Oh,
was,
okay.
like, a bartender, and Kristen was super jealous of her and always
Yeah.
said that they cheated, which I think they did.
They kissed, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah. Well, whatever. We don't know. But I was just curious, because I know you were trying to get caught up, and I guess you didn't.
No, I never did. I was all about it there for a few weeks, and then I don't know what happened. I fell off.
It's also, though, a big commitment.
Yeah.
That many episodes, or that many seasons and all of that. So, I don't blame you. But for everyone else who's out there watching Vanderpump Rules, let me know what you think of this season, because they're back, and yeah, I think this season will be better than last season.
We'll have to put something on stories and see
Yeah.
whose team.
Because
will
what
win.
have you been watching? You've been watching The Bachelor?
Yes.
The Bachelor. Is it Bachelor or Bachelorette is
It is
back?
The Bachelor, and
Okay.
he is so cute. So he's from a season that I actually didn't watch, and I don't know why I didn't watch it. I
Okay.
usually watch every season. It
Mhm.
may have been when I was pregnant or something. But he was on Charity's season, and she was the Bachelorette. She is a beautiful. She was the second Black female Bachelorette, so that was like a big deal. Beautiful. I'm pretty sure she is a social worker or like
Oh, wow.
child therapist or something in that realm. Because I watched the season she was on, so we're going a few seasons back. But she was on a season with Zach and was not chosen, so then she became the Bachelorette. Like I said, I didn't watch her season, but she ended up getting engaged to a different guy, and they're still together, and they have their
Oh, wow.
wedding date and everything, and she seems really, really happy. She was on Dancing with the Stars too, if you watched that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, but I know she was on it.
And it went to like Disney for a minute, like Disney Plus.
That's true.
Like it wasn't on regular TV.
Yeah,
I think it's back, but
Well,
I don't know.
because
There's just so many seasons and so many
Yeah.
people, and
well, and
you
it's
know.
kind of like a direct route from
yeah,
Bachelor to Dancing with the Stars.
yeah.
But anyhow, really liked her, but this was her runner-up. So I didn't know anything about him since I hadn't watched her season. But his name's Joey, and he's a professional tennis player, and
Ooh.
he's like a tennis coach now. So
Okay.
that's his like job.
Ever since I read Carrie Soto is back, I'm like, ooh, tennis is so interesting.
I never read that one, but yeah, so super cute. And I mean, you never really know how these people are, but he comes across like on TV as very, very sweet, very patient. Like he has sisters, and you can tell, like, you know, when you meet a guy and he has sisters, and you're like, this is why you're so good around girls.
Yeah.
Even with their drama, you're not like so turned
Yeah.
off by it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a good season. There's the set of sisters on there.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That are dating.
How many episodes is it? Like halfway, or it just started?
It just started. So there's
Okay.
been 2 episodes, and then the third one will be Monday.
Okay, so maybe I could like, you know,
You 100% should catch up.
catch up.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you any spoilers.
Because I don't watch it like religiously, and I don't like I said, always watch it. But there have been seasons that I have watched, and it'll be super random, like a girl season or a boy season, or like I watched the one where Tasha and Kristen,
We're both the Bachelorettes.
yeah, well, they were like the host.
Tasha and
Caitlin. I was like, Kristen, that's not right. Yes, Caitlin.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, they were in. Wasn't it like COVID times?
Probably.
I don't know, but I watched
I
that
think that
one.
was right after Chris Harrison got canceled, and before
Yes,
they,
it was. It was.
before they hired Jesse Palmer, which
Yeah.
I thought I would never get over Chris Harrison because he had always done The Bachelor, and it was like I can't imagine anyone else doing it. But Jesse Palmer's done it for a few years now, and I love him. He's so he's so good. That's
Did
the
he
host.
do something? Was he a football player?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, I recognize him from something else.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any seasons of The Bachelor that he has been on.
Gotcha.
So maybe I'll start The Bachelor.
Well, you need to catch up before Monday. So don't
Oh yeah,
go.
didn't you say you want to do like a bracket or something?
Yes.
That'll be fun.
And it's not too late. So we should do some sort of bracket on stories where you guys say who you think is gonna win. I'm not like I don't do any of the spoilers like reading Reality Steve or anything. My mom always does, so she like always starts the season out and knows who won.
That's so funny. I love that about her.
Yeah, why would you do that? It spoils it all.
It's like me when I read the last page of books.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you do that either. But anyway, there is a girl that I could see being a front runner. Her name is Daisy, and she like her. You know how when you go on a reality show, you always have like your story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's either like your quirk or your sob story or your like whatever about your personal journey. Hers, it's not a sob story, but it's her like. I think she called it like her unique trait or something like that. Is that she lost her hearing, and so she has a cochlear implant.
Oh.
And I don't think I really knew what that was until she was like explaining it. That like there's a part that's embedded in her skin and like the way that she hears certain sounds, and then there's a part she can take in and out. I don't know. It was interesting, but she was saying this is the first guy that she's dated since having the cochlear implant, so she was really nervous to tell him about it because it's like pretty recent for her. And she's gone through like she has Lyme disease, and she had like all of these illnesses and had to go to a different country and get treatments, and I don't know, like they just really seemed to mesh very well together that I was like, I think I'm Team Daisy. But there are also very entertaining girls on this season, so
that is one thing. Like I know I watched at least one season with Tyler and my sister, but Tyler loves the drama, so you know those are the characters that Tyler and I like that are like totally ridiculous.
Oh well, it keeps
and
it
who don't win.
Yes, well, there's one girl already who she was talking to Joey, that's the Bachelor, and she was like, I need to go slip into something a little bit more comfortable. And so you think she's gonna come out in like pajamas or robe or something, and she like totally changed into this dress where it's like just a bra and a skirt basically, and the other girls were like, why'd you change? Because it was a group date.
Oh jeez.
But yeah, so they're already keeping you on your toes.
That's pretty funny. I have to give it to them though. Like, I know that sometimes they get in trouble because they're like, you only came on this show for fame, and it's like, come on guys, like duh.
Well, I was gonna say that that might be an added perk for you if you do get married to this person, but I feel like for a lot of people, obviously they know that's gonna come from it.
Yeah, because like the idea that one of you actually finds the love of your life is like very slim.
Very slim, and then I mean, once you get into the process, I'm sure it becomes way more about that. But if you're just night one, you're not in love with that person. But now that there's that added layer of Bachelor in Paradise and knowing, do you know what that is?
Yes, I have watched that.
Okay, I love Bachelor in Paradise more because it's so messy and so dramatic. And they've had more couples.
Yeah, like
succeed.
I have what are their names? Thomas and they just had a baby. The girl is, why do I not know her name? Is it like Rebecca or?
Oh, Becca.
Becca and
Yes,
Thomas,
yes.
right?
I didn't watch them on Paradise, but she was a Bachelorette.
Yes, and I watched her season of Bachelor in Paradise where they met, and Tia I think was on it.
Tia was on Paradise?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Like I said, I really am not immersed in Bachelor or Bachelor, you know.
Bachelor Nation.
Nation, yes, thank you. But I do follow Tia on Instagram, and I love her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was.
She was on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because she dated Colton, and then Colton ended up being gay.
Yes, I read about that on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Becca and Thomas, and they just had a baby, and they're so super cute. I really love them together. And I love Tia, but they live in Nashville.
Tia, yes, they do. Tia was one of my favorite people to come from Bachelor. Wait, she was on Ari's season?
I know who he is from Traitors, which is a show on Peacock.
So Ari and his wife, they're cute, but
Don't they live in like Hawaii or something?
Oh, do they? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I know really random information about
people. You do. My mind is blown. So I've been Googling throughout this episode random things, but I don't remember Tia being on Ari's season. But now, do you know Raven?
No.
Okay, Raven and Tia are from the same small town, and Raven was on a season before, and now I can't
remember. That is like insane, isn't it?
Well, they're friends.
Okay.
She was like, you should go on The Bachelor because I had good success on The Bachelor.
Because isn't it like a very small town?
Yes.
And isn't it called like Wiener or something?
Yes.
I thought so.
Raven, what season was she on then?
Kara's spiraling now. Sorry, everyone. I sent her off on a tangent.
I can't remember, but I wanted to say it was... Oh, she was on Nick's season. He has a podcast, Nick Vile. The Vile Files.
Yeah. I have listened to that.
I don't... In my head, I don't remember any of this. Like, I'm getting all of the seasons mixed up.
I mean, there's been like a bajillion seasons, so...
I could never see Raven and Nick together now. And I could absolutely never see Tia and Ari together.
And that's why they didn't end up together.
I love Tia and her husband.
Yeah, and their baby is so cute.
Tatum, I know, he is so cute. They're just cute in general. They are.
Okay, so back to this. The one thing that I've been reading this week is Fourth Wing. Have you read it?
No.
You haven't read it at all?
No.
Are you like planning to?
It's on my TBR, but you read ACOTAR and you loved ACOTAR.
I did. I loved it. Like, read it super fast. Like, those books are very big, I would say. Like,
they are.
Some of them are like 800 pages, I want to say. 7, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I loved them. People say, sorry everyone, if you can hear my dog is snoring. Aspen. She doesn't even care. She's just continuing to snore. But no, I read ACOTAR. They were so good. People say that like the first book was like hard to get into, or it was like slower or whatever. I didn't feel that way. I loved it. Fourth Wing, I'm like 75% of the way through it. I don't get the hype. Like, it's so wordy. So much happens. There's so many characters with weird names.
That's one thing about fiction books, too, that I'm like, why do their names have to be so weird?
Yeah, and it's like, I get it, you're creating this world and, like, whatever. But, like, I don't know. I just, like, there's so much hype for this book that I was, like, super excited. And I did love ACOTAR, so I was like, oh, it's, like, supposed to be similar, like, whatever. But I don't get it. Like, I'm gonna finish it, obviously. And I'm gonna read the second book. Even though I've heard that people think the second book is not as good as the first. So, who knows?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That woke up the dog. But,
Hi, Aspen.
But, yeah, I was so surprised because I like it, but it's really overhyped.
It's not a page turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I started trying to read ACOTAR because there's a girl in our book club, hi Stephanie,
Yes.
who loves the
Sarah
series.
J. Maas.
Yeah, just Sarah J. Maas in general. And I could not get into it. And I feel like I gave it a fair shot, and I was just, one, getting kind of lost in the names, and it starts out where, like, they're trying to kill a deer.
Spoiler alert!
Dragon. No, this is like the beginning of book 1.
Okay.
And I just could not get into it. But
Really?
I am a self-proclaimed.
I didn't know that. I thought you read them.
No, I'm not a big fiction girly though.
Really?
Like that kind of fiction.
Yeah, like fantasy.
Like obviously, yeah, fantasy.
Fantasy. I think because that's where they like create their own worlds and all that.
I used to read like.
Because you like Harry Potter.
I like Harry Potter, and back in the day, like in middle school, we read like Aragon, or there's those books, the uglies, the pretties, the specials, and the extras. I loved that series, and
I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's good. Scott Westerfield. I recommend that to my students all the time. That was a great series. But in like adulthood, I don't feel like I've read any fantasy, and I don't know. I do think because of how many of my friends love those books that if I kept on, if I got through the first one, then I probably would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also like, especially now having the Goodreads goal, I'm like, I gotta get through these books. Like,
gotta get it going.
If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true. It's like how to know if you should put the book down and move on to the next one, or if you should stick it out.
Hey, that's a good metaphor for my life right now.
That is true. That's very
on brand.
Yeah. But I don't know. I would recommend Sarah J. Maas. Fourth Wing, I don't get it. But I'm gonna finish reading it because, like we said, we're all just trying to meet our goals around here.
That's right. I am still finishing up Living Fully, and between reading that and listening to the podcast I've been listening to, I feel like I'm getting hyped up.
Good.
And it's
Kara.
Because I'm a very can be very conservative.
Timid.
I didn't used to be like this. Like, I was definitely a risk taker. Like, I think I've said this before. We'd go on a road trip, like,
Yeah.
the day before, decided I was doing it. Like, whatever, fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah. Well, and being spontaneous versus being, like, a risk taker, I feel like is a little different.
That's true. And I don't know that I've ever been a risk taker professionally. Like, I mean, I was paying my own way through school, 18 years old, and was like, I want to go to law school. This is what I'm going to do. Like, paying for the degree and getting a 4.0, studying, like, till all hours of the night. Like, very, very disciplined, and have been that way through school. And so I wasn't one to, like, blow off a job or whatever. Yeah. Like, it was always like, I'm going to go from one job to the next, to the next, to the next. And then teaching just kind of fell into my lap. I don't know if I've told that story on here before.
I think a little bit.
And so it literally just happened the week before school started that I got a key to the classroom and went from there, and have planned on it being a career. And you teach for 30 years and you get like your full retirement and your benefits and whatever. But I'm starting to come to this point, and I hate this because I really love teaching, like teaching itself. And there's very fulfilling parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach high school, so there are also very challenging parts of it. And I'm starting to like have this internal monologue of, does this have to be a forever thing? And is it okay if it's not a forever thing? And I think because I felt like it was a big girl job when I got it. It was like my first job that had, you know, benefits built in, even if I don't use them because I use my husband's. Sorry, I just stole the mic from Danielle. Or had a 401k or whatever. It just sounded like an adult job, and it was one that I loved and couldn't see myself doing anything other than that. It was just like a automatic, like, yeah, I'm going to do this for 30 years. This is what I'm going to do. I started teaching when I was 25.
You're 50?
So I was like, I'll do this till I'm 55.
She's 30-ish, guys.
Yeah, 30-ish. Still hanging in there. No, I was 25, and so I was like, okay, I can do this until I'm 55. That's an early retirement age, and, you know, be able to travel with my kids, and my husband's job kind of works out that way. They've got this formula of when they can retire, so he'd be around 60. And I don't know. I feel like it's been a hard thing to kind of start coming to terms with or even think about, because so many people leave the teaching profession. And especially since COVID, there's like been this mass exodus of teachers leaving.
But I also think that like the culture of staying in a job until you retire, like one job until you retire, is very outdated. Like, I don't think, like, our parents did that, and they can't imagine why we wouldn't, but it's just not a thing anymore. Like, I don't think you should put as much pressure on yourself that, like, I have to stay in this career or whatever. Like, I just don't think that that's, like, the way the world works anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
it's interesting you say that, because my mother-in-law has said something similar of, you know, their generation, they'd get a trade, they'd do that same thing for forever.
Yeah.
They might move to a different company within the same field, but they, like, kept doing the same thing. And she was saying that's one thing that she kind of, like, was dumbfounded by, but also respects of our generation, is that we're fine just being like, okay, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And we just kind of climb the ladder of, well, this is going to make more money, so I'm going to go and do this.
Because it's so much more expensive to live in this generation than it was to live in, you know, the boomer generation. Like,
100% on every single scale, whether you're thinking houses or groceries or
childcare.
Oh my gosh, yes, childcare. So I don't know. This isn't me up and saying I'm gonna go quit my job tomorrow, or, you know, that I'm even seriously considering it or have, you know, things lined up. If you work with me, just ignore this episode. But I think it's been more of this, like, more than about the job. It's been this internal, like, it's okay.
Eye-opening, like...
Yeah, just it's okay to take a risk or venture out some. And I think it's kind of reminded me of things that I was interested in before teaching, because teaching was never the goal. I didn't get a degree in it. And part of it now is I feel like, you know, when I got the job, they said, since you don't have a degree in teaching, you need to go get your master's degree in it. So I did go and get a master's degree in education. But a master's degree is a master's degree.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to help you be more qualified for any sort of a job.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these days, you know, you need a bachelor's to get your foot in the door. But if you have your master's, that's going to be even better. You know, it makes you more competitive. So there's been that thought of, you know, I have a graduate degree now and I'm still only making X amount of money. And our director of schools is doing a great job about getting us raises each year. And so I anticipate that'll keep happening. But I don't know. There's just a lot that teachers have to deal with and do. And a lot of teachers are living paycheck to paycheck. So I don't know. But I'm starting to remember Mallory's book, Living Fully, was talking about, like, making a list of things that you enjoy, or, like, that brought you joy. And it kind of made me remember that when I was pregnant with Nolan, my first child, every time I went for an ultrasound, it was like my favorite days. And
yeah, I remember you used to talk about that.
Yes, and I would ask every ultrasound tech, like, I got so interested in it, and I would say, like, where did you go to school? And do you like doing this? Like, be honest with me, do you like doing this? Because I was a stay-at-home mom finishing up school at that point. So, and every single one of them was like, I love doing this. Like, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Or I remember this one lady was like, I used to be a cop and then worked for the federal government, and I just got so burnt out, and then I went back to school to do this, and I love it. Like, every day is, and I'm sure not every day is a cakewalk, okay?
Yeah, I mean, every job has its ups and downs.
Yes, for sure. But you could just tell that they enjoyed what they did. And every single one of them recommended the same school. And so I started, like, seriously looking into it, even though I was getting a degree in something completely else, to the point that I went and took all the prerequisite courses that I needed to get in this ultrasound program. And it was a very competitive program. They only let 12 people in a year. And I did all of the different things I had to do, got the letters of recommendation, had to go and observe for 18 hours, and applied. And I really thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in. I wasn't very nervous about not getting in. My grades were good, and I got waitlisted. And this was a COVID year.
I was going to say, this was when you worked at Unity. Oops. When you worked at that place.
When we worked together. Yes, that's right. I was in the process of taking the last class and then got laid off.
Yeah.
And because I was observing during COVID. because I had to wear like the N95 mask with another mask on top of it while I was observing this lady doing ultrasounds on pregnant ladies who were wearing all the masks. Like, it was like, imagine an OBGYN's office during COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was part of that Dumb Money movie that I watched. They were all wearing masks throughout the whole movie, and it was so weird. Like, I'm like, this wasn't that long ago, and I completely forgot about all of it. Like, it just, like, the feeling of, like, watching them all with their masks on, I was like, I can't believe we did this, like, for so long.
It was such a weird point in time.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It was during 2020. So, I got waitlisted, and I took that, like, hard. I was number 1 on the wait list, so they said if someone drops for some reason, like if they had applied to another program and they decided to take that route, or for whatever reason they can't afford it, or they decided not to do this, you would get the spot. Well, nobody did, obviously. If you've done all of this work, you know, you're going to go to the program. So I decided, okay, I'll apply the next year. And this was the year before I started teaching. So applied. Only thing that I had to do differently was I had to go and observe again. So I went back to the same office and observed again for 18 hours, got her recommendation letter, whatever, and applied, got waitlisted again, and was number 1 on the wait list. Dang. And they did say that they give preference to people who apply more than once. And so I thought, okay, since I've been waitlisted in number 1, like, I'll for sure get in this time. So I always told myself, well, then I got the teaching job. Like, right after that, because you find out in, like, June whether you get in or not, and then it was late July when I got the teaching job. So then I was like, you know what, I guess it just wasn't meant to be, whatever. So I always told myself if I were to reapply, I would go back and retake physics, because there were 5 classes you had to take to apply. I made an A in 4 of them. In physics, I hired a tutor, I went to all the study sessions, I did everything, and I still made a C+. Like, it just was Chinese to me. It did not make sense. So anyway, here I am at this point in time now of like, am I going to teach forever? This doesn't mean that I would quit, like, you know, mid-year or this year or whatever, but I was reminded, hey, you were really interested in this ultrasound thing, and are you still? And is that still something you could see yourself doing? Absolutely. So, but it's at the point where it's too late to retake physics if I were to apply this semester. So I told my husband, he's just laughing at me. He's like, how many times are you going to apply to this? I'm like, I'm going to apply until it works, or until I get there, until I get the point. But, so anyway, part of me is like thinking, maybe I'll just give it a shot. Like, I told him, I was like, what's the harm? I mean, all I have to do is put the letter in.
You're not 80, you know? Like, you have time to figure it out.
Well, and there's people in the program who are, you know, have grown kids or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not one of those jobs that, like, I'm going to be the oldest one in the field.
That's kind of what I mean. Like, you have so much time. I feel like people, like, pigeonhole themselves. Like, oh no, I already put this much time into something. And it's like, you could really restart your path, or just have a new path and have a really fulfilling life at 30, 40, 50. Like, you're still alive.
Yeah. No, that's...
You still need to be happy. You still need to, like, make money, you know?
Well, and I always said I didn't want to do a job that wasn't a passion. And I know that people roll their eyes at that because so many people have jobs that they don't love. And I grew up hearing, you know, my parents complain about their jobs, or every adult, it seemed like, was just complaining about their jobs when you go to dinner on the weekend or whatever. And that's why for so long I had no idea what I wanted to do. Because I was like, I just don't want a job that makes me feel like that. Like, I want a job where I go to work.
Well, I think that's kind of like what I was saying before, where, like, that's, like, our generation. Like, we don't, like, we're already living paycheck to paycheck no matter what we do, because everything is so expensive. And if you're not doing something that you're happy about, like, I understand putting the time into something and that not everything's easy. Sure. But you don't need to be miserable every day of your life. You really don't. Like, there's gotta be something else that you can do that, like, you could make, you know, just as much or whatever, and not be miserable. Like, just staying somewhere because you feel like you have to, it's a thing of the past. Like, you just, I don't agree with it. Like, that's how you, like, I think that other countries look at us as, like, I think they say, like, America works to live, and other countries, like, live, or is it the opposite?
We live to work.
Yes, live to work, and they, like, work to live. And that's why they have, like, better mental health. Like, they actually have like work-life balance, like, you know. And it's just like, I think it's like a myth that you have to, like, because they make you feel bad, like, you know, like, you have to like do this, and you have to keep doing this because nothing comes easy. No, I walked uphill both ways in the snow, like, every day in my short pants, like, you know. It's just like, I don't think that, that's not it. It's not the way things have to be.
Well, and that's the battle I'm in right now, of trying to realize, like, am I taking the easy way out? Do I need to dig my heels in and realize this is a season and keep moving forward? Because I do feel like it's easy to be flighty and just feel like this is uncomfy, and I don't like, in this new school that I'm at, I've been forced to learn how to be a better teacher, which is a good thing, but it's been a hard process because I thought I was already a great teacher and, you know, was doing things my own way, and they're kind of doing a revamp, and I didn't like having to do things a different way.
Yeah.
I didn't like having
Change is always hard.
Yeah, I didn't like having to explain why I did things the way that I did, and so on and so forth. And I really like the school that I teach at. It's just, yeah, I think I'm in the season of, do I dig my heels in, and is it something where I just need to, you know, get through it and be grateful for where I'm at? Or, you know, do I just take the path less traveled and try the thing that might be, you know, awesome? And I think because I'm that conservative, like, want to know it's going to work out person before taking the risk, I'm like, but what if I get into this and I'm bad at it? Or
and then you try something else.
What if I get into this?
Or you go back to teaching.
Well, and that's always the thing. My husband would literally kill me if because this is like an 18-month program. So you have to quit your job,
like I said,
get through
you're not 80.
No, that's true. That's true. So we will see. TBD. I haven't even talked to people in my real life other than y'all and my husband about
We're
this.
fake, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. But y'all are hearing it here first. So it's just a thought. I'll have to do some more observation hours, but, you know, it's just putting an envelope in the mail, and if it works out, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and if it doesn't work out, it's happened twice already, so.
Yeah, I mean, I say go for it. Like, if that's what you feel like you want to do, then you go for it. But I one thing you were saying is like not, like, you said something just a second ago. I can't remember the exact word you said, but basically, like, not being grateful for where you are. I think you can still be grateful for where you are and look to and know that maybe there's another path for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like saying, oh, poo-poo on how hard I've worked and how, like, much it took to get me here, and be ungrateful. You know, like, I don't think that's what you're being. Like, you're just like realizing, hey, I don't need to pigeonhole myself in this corner for no reason for the rest of my life.
Well, and it's a desperate feeling, and teaching is almost one of those professions. I think if you teach little kids, it's different, but teaching high school, that the older you get, the less they respect you a lot of the time.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, like, I think now, you know, it can be hard to control a classroom of 30 teenagers, and when I'm 50, one, am I going to even want to put forth the energy to do that, and two, am I going to be as effective at it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Babies is something that I love, and something that I've always enjoyed, and I don't know whether we'll have more babies, so I think that could maybe, like, fill that part of me loving it, getting to see people experience it. And there's all sorts of ultrasounds, like, there's brain ultrasounds and heart ultrasounds and all sorts of different things you can do, but I definitely think I'd want to work with the babies. So.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We will see.
Keep your mind open, and you can do anything that you want.
Thanks. I don't think I'm gonna put too many, what's it called, eggs in the basket or whatever. I'm gonna try not to think too much about it, but if it does work out, then that's a big decision to be made. So but with teaching, you know, you get 2 months off,
that is
and all
true.
the holidays, get off at 3:30, so for the meantime, I'm gonna be grateful for that.
Just be grateful for the season you're in.
That's right. It's a good lesson.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening today. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Kara.
And remember, we're all just walking each other home. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us every Tuesday for a new episode on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review and follow us on Instagram at 30ish_podcast.
Bye.